The Jari Dominion prided itself on being the scourge of the lesser races. Cruelty was their weapon, and arrogance their shield. When their war fleets descended upon Erebus Colony, a small but thriving human outpost in the Outer Rim, they did not arrive to fight a war, they came to make a spectacle. The colony's defenses were minimal. A few orbital guns, civilian freighters retrofitted with point defense, and a local militia with more courage than firepower. Against the Dominion's cruisers, they were lambs before the butcher's blade. The attack was swift, merciless. Jari warships unleashed plasma storms that turned habitat domes into infernos. Refugee ships attempting to flee were lanced by beams of emerald fire. Thousands of civilians died before their distress signal even reached Earth. On open channels, the Jari commanders laughed. They broadcast the execution of the colony's governor, forcing survivors to kneel before Dominion banners. One transmission captured a Jari admiral sneering into the camera. This is the fate of patience. Humans talk of peace, of restraint, of treaties. To us, it is weakness. Watch as we erase your kind, one colony at a time. The galaxy listened, and the galaxy believed them. Tension, the mockery of patience. The Jari celebrated their victory with grotesque revelry. Their fleets paraded through neutral systems, displaying the wreckage of human ships chained like trophies to their hulls. On countless channels, their propaganda spread. Humanity is soft. Humanity delays. Humanity negotiates while its blood is spilled. Alien empires who had once watched humanity rise with wary respect began to waver. Some believed Earth had lost its resolve. Others whispered that perhaps the Terrans, for all their technology, lacked the will to wield it. The Dominion's arrogance knew no limits. They declared Erebus the first of many lessons, and dared Earth to respond. But Earth did not answer. Days passed, then weeks, silence. No fleets moved, no armies marched. Human diplomats spoke only in calm words of investigation and remembrance. The Jari mocked this quiet. Patience, they jeered, is just another word for cowardice. And so they waited for Earth to flinch. They did not realize that patience was not surrender. It was the calm before the storm. Turning point, the silence breaks. Then without warning, the silence shattered. From the Sol system, encrypted signals pulsed outward like the beating of a war drum. Docks that had lain dormant for decades flared alive. Shipyards hidden behind asteroid belts opened like iron flowers. Entire moons, hollowed out and armored, began to move. The Terran Defense Fleet, thought to be scattered and restrained by treaty, revealed its true scale. Battleships older than the Jari Dominion itself rumbled from their slumber, upgraded in secret, their hulls gleaming with new alloys. Dreadnoughts, each the size of a city, emerged from orbital vaults. Civilian comm channels fell silent as emergency broadcasts spread across the stars. The words were simple, chilling, repeated in 100 languages. This is Earth, patience is ended, retribution begins. In neutral systems, entire starports shuddered as the first wave of Terran fleets jumped to light speed. Outposts reported the impossible. Hundreds, then thousands of human warships, forming into armadas that blotted out suns. The galaxy, once so certain of human restraint, now realized what the Jari had triggered. Climax wrath unleashed. The retaliation began at Dra's Forge, a Jari shipyard where the wreckage of Erebus had been hung as a trophy. Terran warfleets dropped from faster than light like a storm breaking the sky. 30 dreadnoughts appeared first, their hulls black as midnight, emblazoned only with the crest of Earth, a burning star encircled by steel. They did not speak, They did not demand surrender. They opened fire. The first salvo erased entire shipyards. Beams of cobalt light carved through space, splitting carriers in half. Swarms of Terran strike craft poured forth like angry hornets, detonating hangars, shredding cruisers. Jari commanders screamed for reinforcements, but no reinforcements could arrive in time. Within 3 hours, the forge was a graveyard of molten wreckage. And Earth's fleets did not stop. System by system, world by world, the Terran armada descended. Their vengeance was methodical, relentless. Orbital bombardments lit alien skis with firestorms. Jari fleets, arrogant, once thought invincible, were annihilated with cold precision. Entire constellations burned with the glare of human wrath. Reports spread of Terran ground troops, soldiers clad in exo-armor descending like iron angels. They did not merely defeat Jari armies, they dismantled them. Cities that had once cheered for Dominion rule now trembled as human banners rose over their ruins. One battle scarred the galaxy forever, the siege of Khazreth Prime, the Dominion's capital. The Terran fleets surrounded the world in silence. They cut off every escape route, every supply line, until the Jari nobility begged for mercy. But mercy was no longer Earth's gift. From orbit, Terran dreadnoughts unleashed a synchronized barrage. It was not a bombardment, it was a rewriting of the sky. The very atmosphere burned, storms of fire sweeping across continents. Cities crumbled into oceans of ash. Khazreth Prime, once the jewel of the Dominion, became a wasteland in a single night. Resolution, the whisper of fear. When the fires dimmed, when the skis cleared, silence returned. The Jari Dominion was broken. Its fleets shattered, its capital gone, its people scattered to the winds. Survivors whispered in terror of what they had seen. An Earth that did not shout in rage, but acted with the cold certainty of judgment. Across the galaxy, rulers and warlords who once mocked humanity now hushed their voices. They remembered the warning carried in every human fleet. Never mistake patience for weakness. Treaties were signed in haste. Borders once pressed against Earth's colonies suddenly retreated. The galaxy bent, not because humanity demanded obedience, but because none wished to provoke their vengeance again. In ruined taverns and shattered outposts, survivors told stories of suns blotted out by Terran dreadnoughts, of soldiers who fought like storms, of a voice that echoed across the stars. Patience is vast, but vengeance is infinite. And so the galaxy learned. Humanity's silence is dangerous. Humanity's patience is vast. But once mocked, once broken, humanity's wrath is eternal. The Vaith Dominion was not a subtle empire. For centuries, they had carved through the galaxy with scorched earth campaigns, feeding their fleets with plunder and their pride with the humiliation of lesser civilizations. They considered themselves the apex, untouchable, indomitable, inevitable. It was in that spirit of arrogance that they descended upon Helios Station, a thriving human colony orbiting the mineral-rich world of Aris IV. The colony was not a fortress, not a military hub, but a place of science, trade, and family. The Vaith fleet struck without warning. Their ships arrived in the night sky, blotting out the stars above the colony, then released their fury in emerald lances of plasma. The cities below were reduced to ash before evacuation protocols even had a chance to activate. Families were vaporized in their homes, children buried beneath collapsing shelters, researchers burned alive with their data still clutched in their hands. When the massacre was done, the Vaith transmitted their message to the galaxy. The humans are weak. They mistake patience for power, restraint for strength. They will bow or they will burn. Helios Station is but the first ember of their downfall. Their broadcast carried across neutral networks, repeated on every relay. Humanity had been humbled. Mockery of a sleeping giant. The Vaith reveled in their triumph. They held celebrations in their crystal palaces, where nobles and generals dined on exotic creatures while recounting the screams of human refugees as if they were nothing more than amusing anecdotes. On their warfront channels, commanders sneered. Earth will issue words, not weapons. They call themselves a people of laws and diplomacy. Their patience is endless. They do not know wrath. Around the galaxy, lesser species whispered agreement. Humanity was respected, yes, but respected for reason, not retribution. They were mediators, peacekeepers, traders. They avoided wars, and when forced to fight, they limited their responses. The Vaith believed this patience was weakness. They mocked it, spat on it, paraded it like a fool's crown. But they had miscalculated. Patience was not weakness, it was discipline, and discipline has limits. The silence before the storm. At first, the galaxy waited for Earth's response, and none came. For days, then weeks, the humans were silent. No fleets moved. No public declarations thundered through the channels. The United Terran Council released only a single cryptic statement. We mourn our dead, we weigh our response. The Vaith mocked again, calling Earth's words cowardice. Their fleets pressed deeper into contested territories, targeting human outposts and civilian convoys. Their air